President of the Indus Secondary Schools Sports Association, ISSA, Dr. Walton Small, says he fully supports the mark of 60%, which is 15% higher than the minimum to play in ISSA competitions. Simon Preston has this story.
For the 2018-2019 academic school year at Calabar High, they will be operating with a minimum pass mark of 60%. This mark is 15% higher than the 45% required by ISSA for student athletes at all institutions to play in their competitions. President of ISSA, Dr. Walton Small, says he was not surprised by the decision taken by Calabar Principal Albert Corcho to increase the pass mark.
It was not surprising to me that the Albert Corcho from Calabar used that benchmark, because we have been using that and we recognize that it works well for our students, so we asked them to perform at 60%, so it did not surprise me.
Small adds, though, that Calabar students who achieve 45 and over and less than 60 will still be eligible for ISSA sports.
So even if you don't score 60, if you score below 45, if you score above 45, you can still participate. It is for the school now to decide, well, hey, if you don't score 60, then you can't participate in ISSA. So every school has the right to set their bar.
Layla is the new head coach of Calabar High's football team, and he says he backs the new measure for students at the Red Hills Road-based school.
Calabar has a program that they're working with, and I'm working with Calabar program. Whatever young says at the school at the time presently, and those are the ones that I get to work with, I just work with them. So, I can't say that it could be worked out with better talents, but at the end of the day, I'm a coach, so I have to coach. So whatever I get to coach, I'm going to coach.
Layla, who was part of the coaching staff at Wolmer's Boys in the last 2 years, says with the elevated pass mark, he believes it will help him to work with his players who can grasp his tactics better.
When you can find players with, good mental ability, you can get more rounded players who can read the game better. So it's a plus. And it's a win-win situation. Definitely, if you can have players with a beautiful mind, not just to play football, but also academically, because those are the players that you really want to play with. You want to have playing for you also, because they can figure things out much easier. So I think it's a win-win situation.
Dr. Small says for the foreseeable future, there won't be any change from ISSA regarding the 45% pass mark.
I can say with some level of certainty that with the makeup of the schools that make up ISSA, that makeup of principals, it will be there for a long time.
The ISSA Manning and DaCosta Cup football competitions is scheduled to kick off this Saturday with a doubleheader at the Catherine Hall Sports Complex. Reporting for TVJ Sports, I'm Simon Preston.
Now, mid-season champions Waterhouse booked their spot in the semi-finals of the JFF Women's Knockout Football Competition on Wednesday after prevailing in a game that was a repeat of the mid-season final. Olympic Gardens, Real Mabay FC and St. Anne Women are also through.
Waterhouse continue to have the upper hand over Arnett Gardens in the JFF Women's Football League. This after beating them 2-1 on Wednesday. The team from Jewsland had recorded the same scoreline against Arnett to capture the mid-season crown last month. Rochelle Gray put the hosts ahead in minute 20 before Christine Salmon doubled the lead in the 60th minute. Arnett's lone resistance came in the 70th minute via Chenille Spence.
Happy with the win. Decent performance. I wouldn't say our best performance, but it was good enough to defeat them today. I think we didn't manage the game as best as we could have, especially in the second half after going 2 goals up. And credit to our goalkeeper Tiana, she came up big for us today. We let some 1v1 chances with the Arnett Gardens, and they didn't capitalize. And we also got some opportunities that we should have capitalized as well. But such is the game. So happy that we're moving forward in the knockout, and I'm looking forward for the rest of the season.
Well, the game slip when we're not finishing, and then the discipline not marking, and just let shoot. An easy goal, the second goal, an easy goal. It should have been cut off from early and didn't cut off.
Waterhouse will meet Olympic Gardens, who made light work of Rangers FC, hammering them 11-0 at Klinkling Oval in rainy conditions, with 8 of those goals being scored in the first half. Tatiana Pollock led with her for a timer, finding the back of the net in the 22nd, 29th, 33rd and 35th minutes. She got assistance from national representative Kevina Reid, who scored a hat-trick with goals coming in the 27th, 30th and 62nd minutes. Carol White had a double while there was a goal apiece for Renee Scott and Monique Price.
Team never really performed as to how I wanted them. I think they dropped to the opponent's level. And we spoke about that, you know, being too casual. When we play a tougher game, you know, we lift a game. When we play a weaker team, we drop a game. And that's something we have to work on. Because we discussed that coming into this game and exactly what happened.
Definitely, we started off good in the first half, but midway of the season, in the game, we lost control of the midfield and the defense kind of get shaky. Keeper gave up in certain ways, so roughly it cost the game overall.
Meanwhile, Real Mobay AFC blanked SC Monarchs 4-0 courtesy of a double from Jody McGregor at the UDC playfield in Montego Bay. They will face St. Anne Women, who clipped Trelawney Women's 1-0 through a 21st minute strike from Chevenise Rose. For TVJ Sports, I am Denise Walters.
Right then, we take a halftime break and come back with lots more. Stay tuned.
Register at woo.com by filling out the required information. Head on over to verify your ID and finish the process.
Call 926-2454. The time by Western Union is...
And welcome back. There's a call for physical education to be among the core subjects being taught in schools and for proper facilities to support it. More in this report.
The benefit of sports is a lot, and therefore my child must be able to benefit from sports. Whether this child go to Hampton, Black River, Louisville or JC, my child must benefit from it.
Principal of Carisbrook Primary School in St. Elizabeth, Patrick Malcolm, stressing the importance of the need for the nation's children to be meaningfully engaged in physical education in schools. The concern? Malcolm believes not enough emphasis is being placed on physical education as a subject in our schools.
I'd like to say to those of us who are unsure of the core areas in the Ministry of Education as it relates to the subjects, that PE is not one of those core subjects. And therefore, the time is right to make physical education a core subject. It is high time that sports be given its due recognition. We must never ever in the life of this country, in our communities, allow a school to be constructed without a playing surface. And not just a playing surface, but a proper playing surface.
Additionally, Malcolm pointed to the health benefits of physical education on our students and called for the construction or upgrading of playing surfaces by the Ministry of Education in order to facilitate this process.
6 out of every 10 Jamaicans are overweight. If they are, then what do we say about the stress on the health ministry? Probably, if we put back these playing surfaces in the schools, structure a proper program, then we may very well help the country in the long run.
Malcolm, who is also president of the St. Elizabeth Football Association, was speaking at his 54th annual presentation of awards ceremony in the parish recently. In the St. Elizabeth Magnum Major League, which was won by New Holland, Otis Wilson won the top goal scorer award with 11 goals, while Kadeem Stone was the most valuable player. Marlon Myers and Adam Williams were joint top goal scorers in the Division 1 competition won by Vineyard. Burns Savannah won the association's primary school league. Courtney Morgan, TVJ Sports.
Now, Jamaica's team to the Pan American Gymnastics Championship may be shortened as the camp has been hit by injury just weeks before the start.
The stage was set for Jamaica's darling of the sport, Tonian Williams, to make a return to national representation for the first time since the 2016 Olympic Games. Since then, the US-based gymnast has been missing from the national program due to injury. However, the Jamaica Amateur Gymnastics Association, JAGA, was hoping the September 10 to 17 event would mark her return, but once again, it's looking unlikely.
She is injured and she may not be competing at the Pan Am Championships. We're just hoping that she will be well enough to do something, because at this point it's really a qualification of the teams as well as individuals, of course.
But Tonian is not the only injury hit for Jamaica.
And Maya, who is also another member of our team, she got injured recently and she will definitely be out, and that is really a blow to us, because Maya, who is Tonian's sister, she's a very strong gymnast and we really wanted to see what she had to offer.
But despite the injury concerns on the women's side, Grant Brown is still confident of doing well.
However, we also have the notion we're excited to have her back. She has been out since 2016 and we are looking forward to a good performance from her. We also have new blood in our team, Mackenzie and Kiara, and they were at the training camp in Damrep earlier last month. And we're very pleased to know that they are gelling and they are ready to go.
There are no injury concerns for the men's team, which will once again be led by Reese Beckford. Caleb Falk, Stephen Lewis and Nicholas Ty completes that team, with the latter looking to fly the flag for the locally trained gymnast.
I'm more confident than I was like last year and the year before, because each competition we do, we get more exposure and we get more confident in every routine that we do. So every time we execute that routine, we look back at the mistakes and we come back stronger.
The Pan American Championships will serve as a qualifier for the 2019 Pan American Games. Renata Brown for TVJ Sports.
Now, the Pan American Sports Organization, PASO, on Wednesday honored former president of the Jamaica Olympic Association, Mike Fennell, for his service to sports in the region during the first day of the Pan Am Sports General Assembly in Lima, Peru. Fennell, who previously served as vice president of PASO and was president of the Jamaica Olympic Association for almost 40 years until he stepped down in June 2017, was pleased with the unexpected honor.
Well, it took me completely by surprise, and I accepted it, of course, because I have given a lot of effort to the work I've done for the Pan Am Sports, the Americas, for many, many years. And it's greatly appreciated on behalf of myself and also on behalf of Jamaica, because it's, in a way, Jamaica's contribution to Pan Am Sports.
Fennell was the 2016 recipient of the National Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year Global Lifetime Achievement Award. Meanwhile, with 100 days to go for the 2019 Pan Am Games, Lima 2019 have claimed they're on target to have 95% of the Games infrastructure ready by March of next year. The Games are set to take place between July 26 and August 11, 2019, with 39 sports featuring on the program. Jamaica's Fabian Allen scored his maiden Caribbean Premier League half-century as he led the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots to a 2-wicket win over the Barbados Tridents at Warner Park on Tuesday night. Allen scored 64 from 34 deliveries, including 6 fours and 4 sixes, as the Patriots, needing 169 to win, got to their target with 2 deliveries to spare. Another Jamaican and captain, Chris Gayle, was next best for the Patriots with 22, as Mohamed Irfan had 3 for 37, while Imran Khan had 2 for 19. Earlier, Nicholas Paran top scored with 44, while Roston Chase made 38 and Jason Holder 30, as the Tridents posted 168 for 5. Tabriz Shamsi, in his first game for the Patriots this season, claimed 2 for 16. With the win, the Patriots moved to the top of the table with 11 points. It also ensured the Tridents will finish at the foot of the table after losing their last 6 games. And at sports time, the defending champions, the Trinbago Knight Riders, were 117 for 1 after 14 overs against the Ghana Amazon Warriors in match number 27 of the CPL at the Queen's Park Oval. After being sent to bat, Colin Monroe, who has led the way so far with 75 from 50 balls. A victory for either team would put them at the top of the table. The Jamaica Talwas will next be in action on Saturday when they take on the Ghana Amazon Warriors in their last group stage game. Noted cricket commentator Alan Wilkins has weighed in on the situation regarding the apparent reluctance by some of the West Indies' best players to play the longest format of the game. Wilkins pointed to some of the top players in the CPL who he believes could excel in all formats of the game, but says they haven't been given a fair chance to show their quality across the board in international cricket.
We're missing the talents of Darren Bravo. We are missing the talent that's untapped of Evan Lewis. They say he's a one-day cricketer. How good would he be in Test cricket? Shea Hope, I think he's a fantastic player. But why are we compartmentalizing these cricketers? Let's just loosen the gates a little bit. Let's give them their freedom. Let's let them express themselves in a way that they can prove to us that they are the fine cricketers they are.
In an attempt to be on par with a number of the top cricketing nations, Cricket West Indies earlier this year introduced the red ball, white ball and all format contracts. But Wilkins believes that there is still a mindset within the board which limits opportunities for players.
I think you've got a whole bunch of frustrated cricketers in the Caribbean who would love to further their ambitions more than they are allowed to do at the moment, possibly because they're being told you're a one-day cricketer, you're a three-day cricketer, you're a four-day cricketer, or you're possibly a Test cricketer.
Wilkins recently returned to England following a commentary stint in the Caribbean Premier League. Zambian 400-meter runner and former footballer Kambanji Mpopu, who ended 7th at last summer's World Championships in London, has been given a 4-year ban by the Athletics Integrity Unit. This after testing positive for a banned substance. The 25-year-old, who won 400-meter gold at the African Games in Brazzaville and at the African Championships in Durban the following year, failed a drugs test in London last summer. A sample provided by Mpopu at the event was found to have contained exogenous testosterone, but she denies wrongdoing. She claims she always has elevated levels of testosterone, as she has hyperandrogenism, the same condition which affects South African star Caster Semenya. The AIU panel rejected her claims that her condition was the reason for the positive test and said in their ruling that Mpopu had failed to prove she had ingested the substance unintentionally. Now, in-form apprentice Anil Scott has been slapped with a suspension of 8 race days and a fine of $20,000 by the Jamaica Racing Commission stewards for a recent riding infringement at Caymanas Park. Scott was penalized after his Mount Dealmaker caused interference to Winter Is Coming in the vicinity of the 4-furlong point in the 9th race on August 18. His suspension takes effect on Saturday, September 22. Scott is currently lying 4th in this year's Jockey's Championship with 40 wins, 32 behind runaway leader and fellow apprentice Anthony Thomas. Right then, and with that we gallop into a break and come back with your recap.
Lasco 1 and Up now has ARA, DHA and prebiotics. It's the new, smarter formula. The time by Lasco 1 and Up is...
Recapping the top stories making Primetime Sports Wednesday, President of ISSA, Dr. Walton Small, is in full support of Calabar's new pass mark of 60%, which is 15% higher than their minimum to play in ISSA-run competitions. Mid-season champions Waterhouse, along with Olympic Gardens, Real Mabay FC and St. Anne Women are through to the semi-finals of the JFF Women's Knockout Football Competition. And noted cricket commentator Alan Wilkins says that the West Indies' best players should be allowed to play in all formats of the game. And that's where we put a wrap on Primetime Sports Wednesday. Stay tuned, though. Sports commentary with Oral Tracy comes up next.
Get big anywhere minutes and data for small money with Flow. For only $150, get a 2-day combo plan with 50 minutes to call any network in Jamaica, USA, Canada, and landlines in the UK. Plus 150 megabytes of data. Or for just $250, get a 7-day combo plan with 100 minutes to call any number in Jamaica, USA, Canada, and landlines in the UK. And 350 megabytes of data. Dial *129 # to activate. Available until September 30, 2018. Conditions apply.
The sun it hot like fire, but I still have to go try and get through what me have to do today. My friend them pan the corner, me I link them out, we gonna ride up soon. Go look around me say, I ride cool, me say, I play cool, me say, I stay cool, me say, I drink cool, me say. My friend them build this rhythm with I cool, them drink it in them with I cool for life, I cool for life.
This highly controversial policy by Calabar High School to eventually stop students who average below 60% from proceeding to 11th grade to sit the CSEC exam, it wake up another ant's nest this evening. But my first question is, how many Calabar student athletes, especially champs athletes, will be affected by this new Calabar rule? Remembering that the academic standard for participating in ISSA-run sports is 45% in 4 subjects. So this new rule could conceivably send home lots of athletes who would be eligible to run as champs. In fairness to Calabar though, this rule is spread across the general school population. Whether you run tracks, or you play football or basketball, or you play no sports at all, it is much fairer than the ISSA eligibility rule that targets students who play sports. And you know my thing already, every legal student of a school who attends school and attends classes should automatically qualify to represent that school in any and everything. No further stipulations or qualifications required. That's just me. In terms of this new Calabar situation, student athletes who qualify by ISSA standards to play sports should not lose their place in Calabar. Any student who represents Calabar in sports, or scout, or cadet, or altogether sing should keep their place in school. The students who should lose their place should be the students who do nothing at all at school, aka the bench warmers. So this Calabar rule should be renamed the Maverick Calabar Bench Warmers Rule. Yes, that's just wake up now. Yes. It just wake up. It's just wake up. It's just.
Make the grade this back-to-school season with Ready Cash. Get a loan of $25,000 and over and enter for a chance to win $60,000. 25 winners in all. Plus, get a loan of up to $600,000 with up to 36 months to pay. Visit any Ready Cash store today. Get a loan of $25,000 and over and enter for a chance to win $60,000. Ready Cash. Ready when you are. Offer ends September 10. Conditions apply.
NWC's meter replacement drive.
If you see an increase in your water bill, it may be due to a more accurate reflection of your usage. So check for leaks.
Drive. More accurate readings inside.
The National Water Commission, making every drop count.
Wake up with Pepsi Kick. Refreshing Pepsi taste with extra caffeine and ginseng.
Hello and welcome to this evening's edition of E-Prime. I am Daedran. To celebrate the birthday anniversary of the late Louise Bennett Coverley, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport will unveil a statue in her honor. The unveiling ceremony will be done this Friday at the Gordon Town Square in St. Andrews starting 4 o'clock. Messages will be delivered by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, MP Juliet Holness, Minister of Culture and Entertainment Olivia Grange and the Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Delroy Williams. Reflections on the life of Miss Lou will also be given by the Honourable Barbara Gludon and Mr. Fabian Coverley. Cultural items will be provided by classical singer Anna Strachan, the Hartford Cultural Group, students of the Louise Bennett Coverley All-Aid School and various gold medal winners in the JCDC's National Festival of the Performing Arts. Small Jamaica said farewell to summer with the 2018 End of Summer Sizzle event. The event was held recently at Emancipation Park in Kingston, which offered an impressive and varied lineup of local performers including Elaine, Wayne Marshall, Version, Runkus, and the best of the rollout performers. Hosts Sakina Mulling, Simone Clark Cooper, Dufton Shepherd and Empress kept the energy bubbling with dance competitions and giveaways.
no sweat. But here, no say, with this deal with the crust, them try every little thing.
Artist Dwayne Marshall expressed his thanks to TVJ for inviting him to perform at the event.
Gosh man, from Smile Jamaica, right throughout the day, you know what I mean, daytime live, news, you know, at TVJ, what can we say, you know what I mean? Nothing but the best always, I represent for the people station, you know. So we just give thanks for all, you know what I mean, for having the ability for there, you know what I mean, can deliver upon a high class level and match. Because them high class, you know, so when we perform we have a high class too, so it's just a joy man for there and joy to be invited.
Dancehall artist Sean Paul has joined sprinter star Usain Bolt as one of the Caribbean's Accelerate ambassadors. The artist and the sprint star were chosen as ambassadors by the coalition of global organizations, which include the Inter-American Development Bank, the World Bank and Caribbean Development Bank, that have joined forces with Virgin Atlantic's founder Richard Branson to make the Caribbean the first climate-smart region in the world. The artist, whose popular tracks include Gimme the Light and Temperature, has been involved with matters to do with promoting the Caribbean's response to dangers of climate change for a number of years. Because back in 2015, at the United Nations Climate Change Conference held in Paris, he teamed up with singer Natasha Bedingfield for the single Love Song to the Earth, which features multiple collaborations from artists including Paul McCartney, Bon Jovi and Leona Lewis. Love Song to the Earth is aimed at raising consciousness about the threat of climate change around the world. That's it for this evening's edition of E-Prime. I'm Deidran. Thank you for watching.
Wake up with Pepsi Kick. Refreshing Pepsi taste with extra caffeine and ginseng.
It's the Battle of the Champions. 4 teams, 4 continents, athletic aces of Europe, Americas, Africa, and Asia Pacific. It's the greatest athletic event ever held in the Czech Republic. The IAAF Continental Cup, Ostrava 2018. See highlights Saturday, September 8 at 9 p.m. on TV.